Hello again and welcome back to Scott and Wanda's World. The Fat Ugly One is back, not with a beer review, any product review today, but something slightly different. Every Monday into my email inbox drops a newsletter from a great little company called This Week in Craft Beer. This Week in Craft Beer there's three components to their business from what I can see. There's a website, thisweekincraft.beer. They've got the newsletter. Obviously, the newsletter is part of the website. You can sign up. It's all free. It doesn't cost you anything. And then they've got a podcast as well. And their podcast interview brewers. They go to some of these festivals. Just in case he joins in, my able assistant Hugo might be in at some point, as the girls are out having some tea, and it's just me and him. So anything could happen in the next 10 minutes, to be fair. So, yeah, This Week in Craft Beer, I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at their products, have a look through their Rob, lovely guy called Rob. I contacted Rob on Instagram saying, can I do something on This Week in Craft Beer to help them out? And he very kindly got back to me and said that would be very nice. So I thought we'd take a look at this week's actual newsletter together. We'll have a look through it, we'll have a look at the website and have a look at their podcast and see who they've had on their podcast. I've listened to all of them. I've listened to a few. They've had one with Stag Only Good. They've had one with I think they've done with Dave from South Sea Brewing. I know they've got one that recently uploaded one of my favourite breweries on Bard. They've got Mackie from another Portsmouth brewery. So if you're into your beer, and they've got web shop discounts, there's a directory you can find, there's tap room finder. So what I'm going to do is I've got my iPad in front of me. We're going to screen record and we'll go through it together and see if this is any use to you guys. So if it is, then sign up. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm not being paid to make this video. It's just something I fancy doing. Got a half hour free. I thought it's something a little bit different. So I'm going to screen record my iPad, and then we're going to take a look at. First of all, we're going to take up this week's newsletter. So on the screen now, this is how it looks on the screen. So I think I've seen. I think there's been hard copies of this at points as well, dotted around. So this is what it looks like. So This Week in Craft Beer, fresh beer. Check out the latest UK craft beer releases. So they detail what's coming out this week. So you know what you're looking for, and if you're planning sort of got a little bit of money by, you can have a look to see what's around from your favourite breweries or even breweries you've never heard of. Brewers Corner, beery news from around the globe, and the This Week in Craft Beer podcast. And we're going to get to the podcast in a little while because that's actually quite interesting. And this is issue 166, and it's dated May the 15th, 2023. It says Awakening, which is Fallen Acorns beer, food and music festival that took place over the 12th and 13th of May. We were there on the Saturday afternoon, and it appears that, so I'm going to read it to you. Rob and Steve from This Week in Craft Beer were nursing sore heads yesterday after attending the Awakening Craft Beer Festival in Gosport on the south coast. The festival spanned 2 days and was filled with hijinks, great company and superb beer. I don't know when Rob and Steve were there. We certainly didn't come across them. I did actually do a promotional video for Awakening to sort of to try and help local businesses if and where we can. Obviously, we're not a massive channel, but I think it's very vitally important that if you can, to put something back into the local community. There's also an opportunity to bid farewell to Fallen Acorn Brewery. Sadly, went into liquidation. Was it this month or the end of last month? Going to be sadly missed. Didn't get over there very often because it's quite a trek to get over to Gosport from here, unless you go over on the ferry, and then it gets quite expensive. But I've had some fantastic nights there. Go and check out. We've got a video on the channel. It was their third birthday. I can't remember. Their birthday party on the Gosport ferry. Brilliantly done, and so something a bit unique. Tim and the guys, we're going to miss you. The event's organisers, who had sadly stopped brewing, despite this, they pulled out all of the stops to make the festival fabulous and showcase some of their finest beers. It was the perfect send-off. We'll have a review of the festival in next week's newsletter, so if you subscribe, you're going to get a full rundown of the Awakening Festival next week. Goodbye, Fallen Acorn. We wish you and your staff the best of luck. And this, it tells you, so you've got the index of new beer releases on page 3, Brewers Corners on page 17, you've got the festival review on page 18, the podcast, festival calendar, so it gives you a calendar of all the events, local and national, coming up. You've got web shops, if you want to advertise with This Week in Craft Beer, and the Taproom directory. Let's click on UK craft beer releases. So this goes through and lets you know, the consumer himself as well, what's coming out this week or last week. I can't remember which way it actually works round, on what's coming out, and if something you might see something that you fancy and you didn't even know was coming. So we've got this week poems from Beak Brewery down in Lewis, near the Brighton area. Absolutely fantastic. I don't think I've done anything from Beak on the channel, but the beers that I've had, largely at the Brewers Tap in Southsea, have all been of a very high standard. So Poems is an 8% double IPA, collab with Verdant Brewing Company. Well, that's going to be fantastic. Heavy additions of oats and wheat with Sabro, Nelson Sauvin and Nectarine hops for flavours reminiscent of coconut, marshmallow, strawberry, passion fruit, and a poolside pina coladas. Well, that sounds absolutely amazing. I've got another one from, there's a couple, 3 from Beak. So you've got Caves, which is 11% Mexican Imperial Stout. Sounds lethal. You've got is that Neno from Beak, which is 6% New England IPA. Stick Icky Indian Pale Ale, saturated with Matuka and Mosaic hops. Absolutely cracking. A couple from Tartarus. I think Tartarus are they up in Yorkshire somewhere? Rainbow Serpent of Tartarus beers, a 5.8% Rocky Road Milk Stout. Sounds right up Wandas Street, does that? Thick and creamy milk stout brewed with wheat and oats for a smooth, luxurious stout with added marshmallow, toffee, hazelnut, chocolate for those yummy Rocky Road flavours. I'm actually not watching this. You got Orthrus, a 10.4% Bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout. That's not going to be for her. Unbarred Brewery, one of my favourite breweries in the UK. Again, down Brighton, made of Brighton. They've got their ESB, extra special bitter, 5.5%. Strong and full-bodied bitter with deep mahogany colour from the combination of pale and crystal malts. This extra special bitter is both moorish and satisfying. That sounds absolutely fabulous. Another one from Unbarred, you've got Tropics Unleashed, which is a 6.2% New England IPA. You've got a couple of fierce beers up in Scotland. So you've got Passion for Haze, a 5% passion fruit IPA. You've got Tropical Thunder, a 6% mango and habanero IPA. Do like habanero in beer. Staggeringly good do their, what's it called? Reptile Dysfunction, which is a lovely, lovely beer. Overtone Brewing up in Edinburgh. I know it's up in Scotland. Turning Violet, a 5% fruited sour. Not a massive sour fan. I do keep trying with them. Northern Monk, you've got their 34.03 Amy Hastings The Fall. Was that one of their patrons projects? 6% fruited IPA. So that's going to have adjuncts in it. I'm going to go there. So carry on. We've got Left-Handed Giant down in Bristol, champion of many, which is a 5.5% fruited goza. You've got Citra and Laurel Pale from Left-Handed Giant as well, which is a 5% gluten-free pale ale. You've got some from Pastor. So this is a Vim Tone, a 6% blackcurrant, grape and raspberry sour. Sounds lethal. Which 6%, that's not too bad. You got Tel Ala Limon. I'll probably butchered that. Which is a 5% lemon iced tea sour. You got Vanilla Jimmy, which is a 5% vanilla cola sour. That sounds quite nice to be fair. You got Cloudwater up in Manchester. 3 of a Kind, Zappa, Citra and Waimea. obviously all the hops. 4% pale ale, dark, fruity, and well-balanced pale ale. We've got an advert. If you want to know what the best dressed bottles are wearing this season, look no further. Designer labels. If you're interested, OPM Group. There's a scanny thing there. UK craft beer, so more on with the releases. You've got On the Rocks, Cloudwater, up in Manchester, 11.9% single malt whiskey barrel aged imperial stout with espresso. Knock your block off. Reminds Me of You, 12% rye barrel aged imperial stout with ancho, chili, cacao, and vanilla. That sounds another lethal one. They're going on for the major hitters on the ABVs on this week. Cloudwater. In Darkness There Is Light, a 10.7 rum and bourbon barrel aged imperial stout. Don't have them all together, otherwise Christ knows where you're going. We've got some from Polly's Brew out in Wales. You've got the Hop Studio, 6.6% ABV, New Fires, 7% IPA, and Lonely Beer, 5.2% New England Pale Ale, and Still Cool. Wish I was still cool. I was never cool. Feel Cool, 5.7% ale, pale ale. You got Rivington, Light Come Shining version 2, which is a 4.4% mango Berliner Weiss. Sounds cracking. Feeling Good, Feeling Great. I know JB, Northern Southern Beer Reviews, I think Rivington's his favourite brewery at the moment. Feeling Good, Feeling Great, which is a 6.2% New England IPA. Foreshore from Howling Hops, 6.1% Kvike IPA. Do like Kvike yeast, but I do find that if I'm having a Kvike beer, I can only have one. I don't know why that Kvike yeast strain just sits on me funny a couple of sometimes. You've got a new one from Flock, which is Visions of You, which is a 6.6% hazy IPA. We've got Atom Beers, which is a Butterfly Effect, a 6.6% Indigo Saison. I haven't had a decent Saison in ages. Cosmic Debris, again from Atom, 5% New England Pale. You've got Track Brewing Company. I think I've only ever had a couple from Track, and they've not been on the channel. And this one is High Hills 2023, 5.6% New England IPA. And this is a collab with Rivington Brewing Company. Beer pours a milky yellow and is hopped far beyond what they usually use in a pale ale. You've got Verdant Brewing in, one of the best brewers in Britain. Ring the Alarm, a 6.5% California IPA. That might be worth finding out. NFT2 from Salt, that is in Asda at the moment. 6% hazy IPA, brewed with Citra and Sabro. Obviously, people are a bit funny about Sabro. I quite like it. You've got Daya Brewing, another tremendous brewing. Hello, how are you? More Juice Please, which is a 5.8% New England Pale Ale. You've got Asvex Brewing Company, which is Bears in Pyjamas, which is a fantastic name for a beer, which is a 6.2% New England IPA. Another one from Asvex, you've got Data Lake, or Data if you're American, which is a 7.4% New England IPA. You've got Full Circle Brewery, which is Aturu, which is a 4.6% West Coast Pilsner. Mango Looper from Full Circle as well, a 6.4% fruited IPA. Kiburi, which is a 4% session stout, probably up Wandas Street. My co-host has joined me. Phantom Brewing from Reading, the lovely Paul Judd working out of there now. Sidewalk Surfing, 6% New England Pale. Half Pipe to Hell, I missed this because I believe Half Pipe to Hell was on Awakening on the Saturday evening, and they're using Mega Matuka, I think it was, Matuka. So it's a 6.9% New England IPA. The IPA is packed with Nelson, I can't read that, Ruaka, and Mega Matuka. And I missed it because we'd gone home by then. You got Brew York, obviously up in Leeds way. BA The Revenge Flux 2 State of Mind Edition, which is a 12% red wine barrel aged maple and pecan imperial milk stout. Barrel Age, The Revenge, Flux 23, State of Mind. Is that the same one? Oh, that's 23. 12% Jack Daniels, Barrel Age Maple, and Pecan Imperial Milk Stout. That sounds fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You've got Neptune Brewery, got no idea where they are, which is Phaeton, 5% American Amber. Star Sailor from Arbour Ales down in Bristol. Proper cans, 5.6%, 568 mil, 5.4% New England Pale. Not from Wylam Brewery, up Newcastle way, up in the northeast, 6.2% New England IPA, Envy Not the Light. This ain't the Summer of Love, which is their 6.5% New England IPA. You've got Ampersand Brewing Company, Idaho 7 Single Hop Series, which was the 4.3% Pale Ale. You've got Moonrise from Elusive Brewing, up there with my favourite breweries in the country at the moment, which is a 6.5% cold IPA. Not a lover of the cold IPA style. Sure Shut up in Manchester area. By Tor, it's the Snow Dog, 6.5% New England IPA. You've got Pew Pew, Barney McGrew, which is a 4.5% New England Pale Ale. You've got Yonder, a Tropical Lassie, a 6% Mango, Orange and Pineapple Lassie Sour. And you've got Turning Point Brewing Company, Wax Wings, 3.9% Australian Pale. And still there's more. Ricochet from Siren Brew, 5.7% West Coast Pilsner. You've got Revelry Red, a 4.5% lemonade sour. Let Sleeping Crows Lie, Heist Brewing Company. My friend Barry Hodges is a huge fan of Heist. I think they're Sheffield way. I might be wrong. Mackie Brewing Company, about a mile down the road from me. Celestial Months, 8% double IPA. That's going to be fantastic. Black Lodge Brewing, playing for the win. 5.3% wheat beer. Absolutely love my wheat beers. Squawk Brewing Company, not come across Squawk. A Lauder, a 5.2% oatmeal stout. That should be fantastic. Donzoco Brewing Company, Train Beer, a 4.5% New England Pale Ale. Vibrant Forest, down in the New Forest way, down by more Bournemouth area, which is a Doubtful Sound, a 5.5% dry hop lager. Where's my co-host gone? Good Chemistry Brewing, Cannon Beach, a 5% West Coast IPA. I'll just love a West Coast IPA. Absolutely fabulous. Vocation Brewing up in Yorkshire, Double Whammy, an 8.7% double IPA. Donzoco Brewing again, a 4.8% Hefeweizen. Neeson Weiss, that would be fantastic. Electric Bear Brewing Company, Deborah, 3.8% Pale Ale. And that's all, take a breath, of the new beers that are advertised in this week's craft beer. They've got a Patreon service if you want to help them out. The details are on the screen now. Obviously, it's not compulsory, but it helps them out. It lists many thanks to our recent Patreon members: Bayonet Brewing Company, Robert Baker, the Small Batch Brewing Company, Belgian and Blues of Southampton, Ken Robinson, Michael Billingham, Steve Harley, John Stevens, Dolphin Brewing, Tim Messenger, Sue Johnson, Berkshire Beer Box, the Paper Mill Micro Pub, Doug Thayer, Aid Barley, Mike Bailey, Jazz Hundle, Phantom Brewing Company, and James Moss. Congratulations, all of you guys. Well done for subscribing and sort of passing on a little bit of money. You've got articles. So in this one, it's got Brew by Numbers restructuring. I'm not going to read the article, but first this week we have great news that Brew by Numbers are close to finalising a new round of investment, which will see them able to continue brewing at the fabulous Modern Wharf site, or they will be sadly closing their Bermondsey site. Do you have ID? Another article in their in their newsletter. Next, we have some thoughts from the Pub Curmudgeon about how the current craze for packaging alcohol-free beers, versions of macro beers, is almost identical containers to their full fat equivalents, is causing retailers headaches when under 18s are trying to buy them. They've got a focus on duration brewing, which believe they're at Chichester. They're at Chichester way duration. Ferment magazine always do a decent job of in-depth articles, and this week they have been deep in the Norfolk. That was close, wasn't it? With the lovely people of Duration. Interview with a legend. Finally this week, Jeff Allworth has some great quotes extracted from his long-form interview with one of the few legends of American IPA, John Kimmish of The Alchemist. They've got a festival review of Brew London. I think this is fairly short, to be fair. I think I've read this. So Brew London 2023, which was on May the 6th, the same day of the coronation. And I think it was a very stripped back version of Brew London this year. This is my third successive Brew London held at the Printworks. Sadly, however, we understand the venue is soon to be demolished, so a new location is needed for 2024. This Week in Craft Beer team attended the trade day on Friday the 5th with the session scheduled from 11:30 till 5. This meant that my golden rule of never drinking before noon went out of the window. And there's a review of their experience there. The Printworks is a massive building with several sections, and it's been perfect location for the craft beer festival over the years. This year there were fewer brewers exhibiting, so much of the area was sectioned off. However, that only made the rest of the building seem more crowded, and the atmosphere was buzzing. So I'm glad everybody that went had a good time. I thought it was slightly overpriced, if I'm honest, this year. They've got some pictures and some more words, and they're talking about the food, etc., etc. Spent several hours here chatting. So you've got the bench area at Brew London, so you can sit and have a chat, and you sort of bump into people that you've never met before, and it is quite nice. This week's podcast on the This Week in Craft Beer, wherever you get your podcasts. I get mine on Apple, or you can get them on Spotify and things like that. Their podcast this week is with Bruiser. So Bruiser is a beer subscription service, I believe. Someone was telling me about Bruiser, and it actually sounds like a pretty decent deal. There's some very high-profile brewers that have signed up to Bruiser. So if you're interested in that, then go and have a listen. You can listen to the podcast by downloading the normal channels, including Apple, Spotify, from 4 p.m. on Monday. AM on Monday. Sorry, Rob. Episode 155 of their podcast, so it's going strong. Delighted to welcome to the podcast Ollie and Lewis from Bruiser. Bruiser is the brand new way to explore craft beer. It's the first beer subscription that puts you in control and delivers the freshest craft beer from the breweries you choose. Bruiser believe good beer shouldn't cost the earth and are passionate about the reducing craft's environmental impact, ensuring all packaging is recyclable, plus planting a tree for every box delivered. So they've got a care of the environment and their impact on it as well. Then we get a list of the craft beer festivals that are coming up. So the 19th to the 21st, I don't know when this will be out, is the Manchester Craft Beer, the Craft Brew Festival, which is at Victoria Warehouse, Talford Road. And they've got links so you can book your tickets. You've got Chester Craft Beer Festival on the 20th of May. The 26th to the 28th of May is Brewfest in St Albans. The 3rd of June, you've got Friends Fest, which is in Mitcham. The 9th and 10th of June, you've got the Bristol Craft Beer Festival, which I'm led to believe is absolutely fantastic. In the 16th and 17th of June, no doubt, friend of the channel, Raggy, will be there. Nottingham Craft Beer Festival. 16th and 17th of June, you've got These Hills Beer Festival, which is in Lewis, down the Brighton area. You've got the LBA Festival, which is in London on the 17th of June. I'm not going to lie, I don't know what the LBA Festival is. You've got the Flock Together Beer Festival, which is in Margate in Kent on the 30th of June and the 1st of July. You've got the Amity Fest 23 from the 30th of June to the 2nd of July 2023. Suds Fest, absolutely fantastic. The 1st of July in Birmingham and Digbeth. Obviously, Dig Brew have sadly gone. 7th to the 8th of July, you've got Little Earth Festival 2023, which is in Sudbury. 14th and 15th of July, you've got Birmingham Craft Brew Festival, which is obviously it's in Birmingham, isn't it? You've got Manchester Craft Beer Festival on the 21st and 22nd of July. Warrior Fest down on HMS Warrior in Portsmouth on the 21st and the 22nd of July. Don't think we're going to be there this year. Can't go into reasons why. 22nd of July, you've got a little summer beer bash, which is in Bristol at the Left-Handed Giant Brew Pub. You've got Craft Theory in Reading on the 28th and 29th of July. London Craft Beer Festival on the 11th and 12th of August. You've got Farm Trip in Rivington on the 31st of August to the 3rd of September. And the 15th and 16th of September, you've got Derby BeerCon, which, strangely enough, is in Derby. You've got, on their web shop, you've got web shop discounts, so you've got 10% discount using This Week in Craft Beer C at their checkout. They'll give you a list of their, and here they are actually. So you've got Full Circle Brewing Company, 10% of discount when you use This Week in Craft Beer C. Duration Brewing Beer Shop, 10% discount code with that code. 10% off of that code. Free delivery over £50. Free national delivery over £50 for Full Circle. Amity Brewing Company, 10% discount as well. Free shippings on orders over £45. You've got all of these fantastic breweries here. So you've got Bayonet Brewing, Jawbone Brewing, Vibrant Forest. So it's a web shop directory basically. Bone Machine Brewing Company, Flock Brewing, Pomona Island. There's hundreds of them. And if you go onto their website, there's a whole lot more. So for a free newsletter that comes through your email, to your email on a Monday, there's plenty to digest, really. So it tells you all of the new beer releases for that week. It's got some articles that might interest you, articles on tap rooms, on interviews with brewers and people within the industry, and it goes into sort of some of the politics in beer as well. They've also got a podcast, so I'll show you the podcast very quickly on the breweries that they have made episodes with. So this is obviously their logo, This Week in Craft Beer with Rob Cheshire. Obviously this week is 155 with Bruiser. They've Unbarred, Full Circle, Attic Brewing, Mackie, which is just up the road from us. We Are Beer, Beak Brewery, Rivington Brewery. There we go. Polly's, Two Flints, Brew York, Staggeringly Good. I've listened to one with Staggeringly Good with Joe. That was interesting. Duration, Twisted Wheel, Left-Handed Giant, Liquid Light, Round Corner, Crop, Little Monster, Daya. So all of the big boys, Rob and his team have done. They've done podcasts with them. So for an information guide, I think it's fantastic. I say it's all free. Don't have to pay for it. They've got a Patreon account if you're that interested. So yeah, everyone, if you subscribe to their newsletter, comes through every Monday. So they've got a website as well. I'm not going to go into their website because a lot of it's the same as their newsletter. So yeah, if you like that sort of thing and you're interested in the craft beer scene, then consider subscribing to This Week in Craft Beer. So I'm not being paid for this. I just thought I'd give them a little nudge along, help them out, and you get lots of information free into your email inbox on a Monday morning, fresh for you to read for the rest of the week. And they got the podcast as well. And obviously, podcasts are free and always very interesting to listen to. So if you go and give them some love. So it doesn't cost anything and it keeps you in the information overdrive. If you've liked this video, then give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, give it a thumbs down. If there's something you'd like to see more of, then leave a comment in the comments box. There's a subscribe button along here somewhere. And me, want to see you very soon.